Hi, welcome to Logan the Story. We're gonna go into detail and talk about Toy Story 2, this presumably wonderful sequel to a film called Toy Story. And then we're gonna go into detail and talk about what makes it so great. And then we're gonna end the video with a huge surprise, okay? It's gonna be a huge surprise. Just kidding, there's no surprise. But listen, just stay in tune for the video and enjoy it, okay? Alright.
In the first Toy Story, it was so loved by audiences, and to do a sequel to it, for me as a director, I have to look back at the original and respect every aspect of it. You know, it's the casting, it's the vocal performance, it's the animation, it's the look, the lighting, the design of the world, the music Randy Newman did, the sound Gary Rydstrom did. All those things combined make Toy Story. So in doing a new one, we needed to really respect that and create the same world again.
The Life of a Toy. A story implemented 4 years prior, a movie that still holds its own theatrical ground. Yes, today we're going to be talking about the 1999 classic Toy Story 2. Thanks for coming, and let's get started. Throughout film history, sequels have had a reputation of being, trash. Just trash, okay? But in 1999, a film that seems to be taking the helm of Pixar's first sequel is released. While originally being planned for direct-to-video, and if you don't know what that is, here you go.
Let's take a gander through the store now. Now for you buffs watching at home that are recording this show, you can pause it and just pick out exactly where that movie is that you wanted to see, and you can find it in a snap.
Anywho, the challenges for this were endless. It seemed that everything that could go wrong went wrong. From the crew being sleep-deprived, so much so that an unfortunate series happened, such as a child being left in a hot car, even the movie entirely vanishing.
The story of Toy Story 2 is based a lot on my own experience. I'm a big toy collector, and a lot of them are like antiques or, one-of-a-kind toys or prototypes that the toy makers have given me. Well, I have 5 sons. 4 of them are little. They love to come to Daddy's work, right? And they come into Daddy's office, and they look around, it's like, oh, and they're just wanting to play with everything. And I'm sitting there, no, no, you can't play with that one. Oh, no, you can't, here, you can play with that one. Oh, no. And so I found myself just sitting there looking at myself and laughing. Because toys are manufactured, put on this earth to be played with by a child.
But despite all of that, they pulled through with a very compelling sequel, even with a list of brand new characters, such as follows: Jessie, Bullseye, Mrs. Potato Head, Wheezy, the Prospector, Emperor Zurg, and Al. Now, for it being a classic on its own, I bet you're wondering how exactly they pulled through. Well, you know what we gotta do. So to touch on the very thing that makes Toy Story 2 work entirely is the idea of a crew and a cast that seems to know the idea of working hard even when there's shortcomings that will later turn into upbringings. That very thing that seems to be pushing us to do anything in life, to make sure we do the things that we love. And sometimes we have to fight for the things that we love. And at the end of the day, once we fight for it, it becomes a better result at the end of the day. If you think about anything of a sequel, usually sequels are not the best thing in the world. But my thing is, if you have dedication, risk, perseverance, and everything that goes into the detail of creating said a picture, it's important to understand the very things that come into making something good. It's not something that you could just pull out and then put into a plate and then call that dinner. You can't do that. You have to take the initiative and the drive to do whatever you can to make that picture good, while also understanding that people are people, and then people need to sleep and eat and do regular things that people do in order to survive. So in that very case, I think it's important to understand that Toy Story didn't just come out from just this grand scale of preparation. It came out of literally taking what you have and building off of it. So, in total, Toy Story 2 is a very great film and should be watched. So, the very likely event that you ever do watch Toy Story 2, keep that into consideration, okay? Alright, thank you for going into detail with me. Now back to a regular scheduled program. So, perseverance, steadfastness, care, risk, all things that a movie needs to be anywhere near appeasable. All things considered, this movie does that, even with all of the gradual and later upbringings from temporary shortcomings. So, Toy Story 2 proves that with 150%, even more so, dedication and care, you can pull through with a sequel that outshines the original.
A few days after the movie came out, I was traveling with my family. We got off the plane, and there, just outside the gate, was a little boy, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and he was clutching a Woody doll. And the look on his face was that of he was so excited to show this to his dad, who was getting off the plane. And it touched me so deeply that this character that the little boy was holding doesn't belong to me anymore. It belonged to him. That was his Woody doll. I have a lot of respect for that. And so when we did Toy Story 2, I always thought of that little boy and knew that we had to make Toy Story 2 great for him and for all the people that really love these characters.
Thank you for coming to a Pixar movie review, and have a blessed day. Peace.